For Pokemon World Cup. So I represented America. I went 4-0. Woo! And sorry, I didn't make that.
Fuck yeah!
Goddamn goops! I love you. Please keep making my game. Anyway, the reason why the reason why this game counts as an RPG is jumping systems. You need items, and according to he's Asian, sorry, so he had to leave. He's part Asian. No, he's actually crazy.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama. Thanks, Obama.
It's got a leveling system. It's got loads of characters. They all have their own personalities. Like,
never played it.
Don't. I broke all of my timers for all of my Pokemon games.
Yeah.
But it had aspects for both casual and hardcore players. Casual, you beat Elite Four, grats, you can put that game down and never be playing again. Hardcore, you have EV training, IV training, fucking
more gym leaders. Gym leaders out of freaking nowhere.
Breeding.
Hours.
All my 99.99 clocks all broken.
So, bitch. Exactly.
So yeah, the reason why I put Crystal on there is because it's the first game that you had to hunt the 3 legendaries. You know, Suicune, Entei, and Raikou.
And you can also play it on your phone.
Sure. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
That's for Japan.
Oh, well, they also have
I'm saying it's legit.
Yeah, I can't tell anymore.
It's a real Gundam.
Yeah, real Gundam.
So yeah, the reason why, you know, it had so many things. You could combine Kanto and Johto. You know, it's just a wonderful game. They're milking the shit out of it. The tits are dry. It's Mario style. You know, tits. You know.
Oh, good. I was going to say that. Because now every hipster can be like, I am a Pokemon nerd too.
And all them colors.
Sitting at home in my underwear playing Pokemon. I'm such a nerd.
Yeah.
I stopped. I did not play Black and White.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do Disgaea, so you do your thing.
Oh, you mean Disgaea,
right? The ski.
The ski? Yes.
I'll never hear the other.
Like, but no, seriously, a game like a game like this that came out at the time, I'm just like, because I was craving for some tactics, or at least a tactic style game.
I guess you never played Vandal
Yeah, well, actually, I think I did play Vandal Hearts for a bit, but then this changed for me. It was a unique tactical RPG that, like, it had customizable classes, not just like a few customizable classes. The entire gameplay was around dungeon crawling and class building, to the point where, like, you had a certain class, you leveled them up to, like, over, like, oh god, amounts of different levels.
9,999 was the level.
Yeah, exactly.
And every item you possessed had a dungeon.
See, this guy right here, like, literally.
I've never played this.
I wasn't kidding when I said there were literally infinite dungeons.
You can put into a special machine and go inside of it and beat a boss in it.
Exactly.
Level.
So, anyway, yeah, like, literally, I wasn't kidding around when I said there was virtually, like, non-stop dungeons.
There's no level cap.
I like that. No, that's
see, this guy knows. Just like me, I stood there like 36 hours a day. Yes, 36 hours a day playing this guy.
The fuck out of
Exactly. Hey, please.
This is why Matt Smith quit Doctor Who, because of that.
oh my god, sorry. Say that again?
Matt Smith officially resigned.
Really? I didn't.
So he's gonna leave after Christmas special.
But we'll worry about that later. Back to this guy. And speaking of not making sense, can I tell you about the story and like how the story itself was so damn nonsensical? It did make sense at the end of it. Like the first game was about a little overlord who had a Napoleon complex named Laharo, which I mean, I kind of felt for him because everyone just kept on busting on his chops. But the second game was actually my personal favorite, where like you get this fighter character who's out to like get his family back to being human.
With a big old tie?
Yeah.
That's a big ass tie.
It's a big ass tie.
The way your hands are is like, is that the guy with the big ass tie? You know,
the big ass tie.
This is
like no, what was cool about it was the artwork's beautiful and that they always make in-jokes for the fans. Like, in the second game, Laharl comes back but only as a side character and he's bitching about that. Just how, like, how come I'm just a freaking mid-boss now? This is bullshit. Well, I could go on and on about this game for a long time, but...
Let's not forget about mid-boss himself.
I love mid-boss. Dark Adonis.
Let's go to Lunar, right?
Okay. This is the perfect game for music.
Yeah.
Phenomenal soundtrack.
Which is playing right now.
That's beautiful. Just beautiful.
With the soundtrack.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I got the Sega CD version, so...
The story is wonderful. The characters you love. You have love interests. You have, this quarreling couple. I think it's Jessica and Kevin.
Yeah.
Great characters. Mia Elsa and Nash. Another love interest. Alex becomes a fucking badass at the end of it. Galliant was a great end game boss. You know, great story. Soundtracks.
Is it tearing you up?
A little bit.
You want to pull your pants?
I want to look at my
pants
Sega
are already off.
They are off. I mean,
This was
there's a
enough
Sega CD on
I
this
played
dick
this
right
game
now.
naked, and I don't regret it.
There you go.
So,
Want to keep going?
I could keep going, but let's speed this up. Gotta go for the top 5.
Oh my god. Woo!
Talk about a fucking acid trip of a game.
Even the soundtrack itself tells you how much of an ass trip it is.
I was not fortunate enough to be able to get that game, so I picked it.
Oh, well, you can't buy it now. 'Cause that's a
$20,000.
You have to take out the first mortgage just to own it.
Yep.
Is that
for
the game or is that Rex?
On the Wii, it's coming.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like.
They need to re-release that shit.
You have but this is one of the first games to have seamless maps, loading screens. Fuck that. This ain't Tony Hawk. So you just keep going, and it's just like a revolving door. But you know, they just throw in more stuff. This is actually one of the first games to have a weak projection instead of like the classic top-down. You know, everything's like 2D, but it looks 3D. You know,
3/4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. And but yeah, that game.
And that final boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know, 6 hits of acid.
Or how about the monster designs in general, dude?
Yeah.
Everything was trippy.
Yeah.
Dude.
Everything.
Moonset?
You want? Yeah.
Yeah, just.
Now, take it over him for number 4.
Mario RPG?
This one. Xenogears. I'm not gonna lie. I bought this at least 3 times in my life. The same currency. $50, $50, $50. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy it anyway. But now it's on like $10 on the PS3. I'm like, wow. And I just got a PS3 as of last week. So, you know what? I'm cool with it.
Keeping up with the time.
Sony does that all the time.
It took PS3 8 years for me to get there, so it's cool. But what was it? The active time battle. They took that from Final Fantasy. Of course, it's Squaresoft, so it's whatever. They're gonna do it. But I think they perfected it. I'm not gonna lie, because there were some times I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna dig this game for no reason at all.
People who actually worked on this game went on to go make other games like Sunrise World War and Namco Cross Capcom.
I didn't know about the Namco Cross Capcom. That's very good.
Yeah.
But also, what I liked about it is that this combat style was not like this general, I hit you, there's damage. There was actually different martial art combat styles. And also gear battles, so there was 2 types.
Yeah.
So you have one where you're just a human versus whatever monsters and versus
Gundams.
a gear battle where you got
Pretty
people that are
much,
like
yeah.
10 stories
Just
tall
against
and you
Gundam.
gotta
Which
take
one will
care of
win?
them. And see,
Aim
now,
with shits. Aim with shits.
now what you did with this extra style is that after you, say if you only want to do one move, you can actually save your APs for what they did for death blows. Which was very useful because you had a boss that's like, okay, this is going to take a long time. Why don't I just spam this one move? And when I have at least 23, I'll just keep doing the same move and I'll be done with it in about 5 minutes. I'm cool. But then you got this. Everybody doesn't really know about this, but it's a part 5.
Yeah.
of the
Open
Xeno
the shit,
series.
Star Wars style.
And Star Wars up in this bitch.
Start the shit in the
I
middle.
don't know why they did this, but when they did Xenosaga, or Xenosaga, whatever.
I don't even care.
It just it's cool.
Xeno.
I love
Xeno.
Yeah, or Gyno, whatever, I don't care.
Gyno Cross.
Gyno Saga.
Rhino Saga.
Gyno Saga.
Gyno.
But no, but when it came to the first game, second game, I wasn't too much of a fan. When it got to the 3rd game, I'm like, okay, cool. They got an ancestor of one of the characters in here. I can't remember his name was Jin? Yeah, it's
was
around
drinking
there.
Jin.
Every main character's name is Jin, you know.
Man.
But of course, they were going to make a part 4, which would have been awesome because it goes right to this right after.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And I was
This one
pissed
be
because I would have bought Xenogears
Yeah.
4. I'm sorry, Xenosaga 4. Just to get the Xenogears and like, okay, that makes sense.
But see, everything else of that just became one giant cinematic game after another, and you like just take a step forward. 2 hours,
Right?
And but speaking of cinematics too, Production IG, I did not even know they were in it. They were in like, what was it, Mass Effect, they did that, they did the Halo Legend, what is it called? I can't remember.
Halo Wars?
Halo Wars or something.
Oh, are you talking about the cartoon?
The cartoon,
Legends.
yeah.
Halo
There we
Legends.
go. That's what it is.
But it's like you take a step forward, and then this girl just goes on like, these are the glasses that my father gave me. Let me tell you for 5 hours why.
Nah, we're all right. Let's see, but
Secret Mana.
Yeah.
Great game. One of the first games
My
to have like
favorite
a
track
co-op
game.
for an
Part
RPG
3.
because you didn't want to play with other people.
You didn't want to play with your brother?
Yeah.
No.
No,
But-
because he was 5.
Because you had the brawler, you had the mage,
Oh.
and so you had 3 people. Like
That's all
you
you
had to
needed.
use that. You had to use that multi-tap.
I love it.
For the first time, you found a game that you like people enough to use a multi-tap.
Other than Bomberman.
Oh.
Yeah, but then you end up hating them. It's like Dokapon Kingdom. It's like, fuck you.
That's true. That is true.
Bomberman's an RPG. Is that number 2?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's coming right up.
I think Saints Row's next.
Saints Row is next. Yeah.
We're taking our time.
But for its day, you know, it was so unique. Like the combat system, you know, like Earthbound, like, you know, quality, you know,
The
style.
graphics were amazing in there.
But you know, we were running out of time, so I keep going to death in the secret mana.
We're doing pretty good. Not gonna lie. It's it. Oh, yeah. It's good.
I mean, needless to say, like this,
Like the next 2 games are gonna take a while.
all I'm gonna say is that the Mana series, more or less, is technically still
Not to be
going
confused
on.
with Legend of Manda.
This game,
Shut up. I like sort of Mana for the GBA.
like literally, like we only got like a few of the games here in America, but in Japan, like there's like a whole crowd following for this game. Like it's
It's like the Boondock Saints of games. It's just cults.
That's the word.
You guys have the floor. I don't need to talk right now.
It's a great. Well, okay. Not only like the reason why this game took so fucking long is those save points. You worked for them.
Yeah.
You worked for those
Yeah,
fucking
you
save
did.
points. It's just like, oh, you're just gonna start the game. That's cool. We're gonna have this fucking alligator boss that you're gonna have to chase down. You're gonna have useless Mallow. Thank you. That's gonna be.
Okay, good.
You know,
As long as
help
you
you out. Don't
admit it.
worry, you got this. You got this.
I did have it. His
done.
second magic thing
Exactly.
was good all the way through the game.
Yeah.
I consider him to be Nia from Breath of Fire
Always
3.
good.
Yeah.
Everything sucks. It's just done.
It was my favorite character.
But okay, when you have this game like this, that Square still goes back to, like, the requirement for employees is to play this game to remember what a good RPG was.
True
You
story.
know,
And yet
even
they
though it's
still
the
fail.
wrong RPG to go towards when it
That's
comes to
why
that,
they're not really
you know, it
using
is a good
direct
choice.
Yeah.
You have lovable characters that Nintendo has, you know, milked enough to where you know who they are.
I agree. You know what? I like that. Thank you.
Somebody knows you
Can anybody time his star shooter thing right?
Yeah.
It was like
I did by accident once.
Another thing is what you really took a lot of time getting, you had to jump 200 times in order to get that final weapon from Mario. You got 190, but you never got 200.
Oh well.
You're one of the 8 people that got it. Congratulations.
What was the last one again?
Let's see, the last one? Oh, well, let's get to that one.
What was the RPG that?
Oh, I don't know. What is it? You know?
That's a
Well, I
good
think
question.
the music, you know what, let's just... I don't know. No one knows what this is. Go.
Is it time to slam?
It is time to slam. That's exactly what it
No,
is.
it's not. It's time for Chrono Trigger.
Oh
Number
my
1.
Okay.
The perfect game. I love Dragon Ball.
This fucking
Dude, man! This game literally was Dragon Ball Z the RPG. What are you talking about?
There's Goku, there's Bulma.
There's Trunks and there's Bulma. Oh my God, you're right. And there's robots
And
and
Piccolo.
green creatures and
Or
swords.
Vegeta when he's in human form.
Oh, that's right.
Oh
and-
man, Mass Effect's so unique, it's got so many endings.
Shut
Fuck
up.
that, no. I have 15 out of 21
And I got 'em all.
Yeah, exactly.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Depending on where you went back in
Feels
time
great.
in this game,
Dude.
changed the entire fucking game. Even if you lost to the final boss
Nothing better.
fight, congratulations, you're not gonna get a second chance, because that's your ending. You fucking failed.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be reminded
For me.
you can't skip those credits.
Same thing.
Oh
Why?
wait, can I go back and like change everything?
No, that's a new game.
Balls.
So, that game.
Time to go home.
That when you have Toriyama, the creator of DBZ, making art for your game, that is a solid. Exactly. That's why we're jumping around
Oh, wait.
the game.
But and not just the artwork, the PS good right. I was gonna say the PS1 version. Actually, his entire studio actually went ahead and did the animation for it.
Bird Studio.
Yep. And when I remember when I first got the PS1 version, I'm like, this is the greatest RPG of all time now on my PS1. I teared up.
And then you can have it on your DS.
They do have it on the DS. You're right.
You can have that on the go now.
Exactly. So people like, hey man,
who cares about boobies?
I got
who needs booze and I have Chrono Trigger?
Yeah.
Kids.
Uh-oh, Boner alert.
They released an iPhone version.
But
What more?
5 minutes to talk about this game.
I know, keep on talking.
This is the game Square needs to make them play.
Chrono Breaker.
Which is what I was saying. It's just like it's a good you know, Super Mario's a good game to play to remind you of a good RPG. But this is the pinnacle of any RPG.
But I
It's a
think,
standard.
Yeah.
but you actually bring up a good point. How like about like a fan game like Chrono Breaker,
Yeah.
and just like how pretty much because of everything bad that happened with the whole EA Square thing, we're pretty much never going to see this game again. Get another story. But yeah, when you start
not
thinking
even the
about
Chrono Resurrection game also.
and they had a
Good-ass
secret
graphics.
sequel. Like they had, like you won't know it's like the direct sequel until you beat the game, which is Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
You know,
Never heard of it.
Chrono
Yeah.
Cross, you know, it's just like, oh wow, this is a really good game. It kind of reminds me of Chrono Trigger, but it doesn't say that it's a sequel. Blah blah blah. Oh wait, I beat it. Why is Chrono here? You know, boom. You just this
If they like-
Easter egg.
Chrono
and
Cross
it's like,
is just a fan
oh
thing.
shit.
Chrono
you
Cross
know.
was a fanfic.
Not to mention, like this was one of the first games that had to do with time travel.
Yeah.
Which is a huge thing to tackle. They did it,
Yeah.
and they did it right. Like
On the first game.
exactly.
That's
like,
what 13.2 is trying to replicate now.
I'm sorry.
What's 13.2?
That's gross.
You mean that dying, you know?
Oh man, but I'm not
Oh,
gonna
boy.
lie. Other than that, like,
It's not even the option of which hallway to go to.
but seriously, before we go, actually, like, I'm not gonna lie. If you want those kind of things, we found out not too long ago that these top 10, there's a dealer's room.
Yeah.
Not that has
Yes.
all of them.
Yeah.
The ones that we mentioned, it's like, yeah, we have those. I'm like,
Because I asked them.
Because like, I was looking through and I'm like, oh my god, there's a box. Yeah, like in the box, I'm like, oh my god, our entire top 10 list is in here.
And I talked to them about it, and they should have it on
I think
display,
Earthbound is actually in
our top 10 because I talked to them about it, and like I told them the top 10. They were like, oh, we have all
Exactly.
these
Let's
games
get
here.
the games.
And I was like, that's fantastic. So
Anyone else
it's Devin and Dave, and they have their own booth. You know, they sell them at decent prices. Like, okay, Chrono Trigger, if you want that shit on Amazon, that's a good $200 to $500.
Uh-huh.
If you want Earthbound, like it's literally on
I got a
sale
gold
for 20
card.
grand.
Oh, well
You know,
then
in the
you're
box.
good.
Yeah, but they're selling it for like a a reasonable price.
Yeah.
You know, Chrono Trigger you gotta pick up for like 160 bucks.
Plus today is Sunday, so discount
exactly.
day, so
$5.
hey.
and
I got a
if
50
you want
for
something
Chrono
to piss
Trigger.
you off, like say if we didn't have anything on the top 10 that you guys liked or anything, go to top 100 RPGs of all time.
Oh
Fuck
my
yeah.
Fuck
God.
IGN, all right? Because if you put Chrono Cross in the 60s and like if you put fucking piece of shit garbage game, like all those were like in the top 10. Like 6 was first, like before Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
If you don't think Chrono Trigger is the best game of all time, you have just discredited yourself as a review place.
They're 2 and 1.
Final Fantasy 6 is better.
Yeah,
6-2.
That was the hardest one. We were gonna put that for one.
no, Chrono
Yeah.
wasn't one in IGN's.
I know.
That should have been
That's what it should be.
Yeah,
No,
It should go 6-2.
Like-
6-2.
No, believe me, there were actually a
Like,
lot.
the
I
reason
mean,
why we didn't troll 6 is because we respected that game.
we literally
What's on
do
your list?
love 6.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what-
but-
yeah.
But we already
That's why
played.
we're talking about it now.
We did that just to get back at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Even after you got back at us.
Which
So
Final Fantasy
we have this revenge
I guess so.
planned out.
Super revenge.
But,
We have the super revenge.
But thanks for coming, guys. I mean, if you have any questions after we're done, I mean, check out our website and shit like that. We're gonna have these videos probably within the next.
Oh, you have your
we
cards, by the
feel
way,
like
don't
we're
you?
not lazy or sleeping.
Speaking of this website, I mean, we do have other things on that website as well.
Games.
We do have games, especially a game that it's not an RPG, but damn it, does it ever come close to referencing some?
He's got gaming.
It's got a game and
Don't do that.
two of the actual artists here for the game, Knightrokon, is actually on that site.
It's on the Sega.
It's on Sega Genesis and the Master System, both of them. You can actually pick up a card to check out the game on there.
I mean,
32-bit.
Mr. Smoke's
Blast Prop.
I mean, Mr. Smoka is definitely the Master System.
Everything, please.
But yeah, pretty much it's our small little indie project that we did on there. Go ahead, feel free to support us. We would appreciate that. Tell your friends.
I gotta
Thanks
play
for
that
dealing
Call
with our
of Duty butt
trolling.
cheeks first.
It's better than Call of Booty butt cheeks. Well, thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of the fun.
My biggest issue wasn't sitting up, that just wasn't in the artwork.